want people to talk language that I understand too. That would really help me. When I was back at HUD, we had a group of attorneys explain to me the word affirmatively furthering fair housing. I went, okay. He said, why can't you affect those statutes? I said, okay. Does that mean that somebody moves out or somebody moves in, or can you kind of tell me what it means? He says, no, you will have an obligation to affirmatively further fair housing. I said, was I supposed to do that as county executive? They said, yes. I said, who did it? I just was curious. Well, my staff and I have been working that issue, but I didn't know it was a legal obligation. And in fact, we did. But I didn't understand it. And it was worse when I talked to the finance people. Because when we were dealing with mortgage foreclosures and all of that, they would come in and they would talk a long time, and I would write down all the words that they used. They didn't go on the internet to find out what it meant. All of our disciplines have our words. They do. And if there's anything out of this meeting that I think policymakers need, the Congressmember Dix need, and the governor needs, and I need, and certainly the public needs, is the ability to translate that into something plain that we can understand. I use my wife's iPhone 4GS, and I entered the word acidification and I never knew how to pronounce it. Then I said, what is acidification? And it kept talking back to me. What are you saying? Is it? And I kept saying to my wife, maybe I'm not saying it correctly since you speak English better than me. Here, you say it. And it's never worked. It's not in our vocabulary yet. Because they took all the words that were common to people, but acidification was not one of them. And our real issue is, what does it actually mean? So for we've gone to universities, many of us have an idea of what acidification is. But the real is, what does it mean to me? Why should I care? Now, I love Eric's article because it made it real, consequential. I could see it and I could feel it. So I would hope that in your next meeting, after all of you are here, because all of you are really smart, you really are. You're incredibly talented. You've got brains upon brains upon brains. But what is the one thing that I would like as a member of the Puget Sound Partnership? And what was the one thing that I think is going to be important to moving the ball? And that is for all of you as scientists to figure out how you can singularly as a group be able to move forward in an agreement on what is the best science to guide. Acidification, we have to deal with it, and early. The question is, how do we do that and where do we do that? Because we cannot do everything. The issue is how to do it. I mean, I love this meeting. I was sitting back today, I was saying, oh good, I know some of the things they're talking about. It reminds me of a meeting when George Soros sent his staff to talk to me. And they talked to me for 2 hours. And I remember telling my staff, what did they say? I mean, it was really great. Charts, PowerPoints. And I was impressed. What did they say? I said, and they said, well, we'll do a memo. I said, well, can the memo just say this? Because this is how I understood what they said. And Freddie and Fannie had built into their policies asking for additional fees that were extracting $80 billion out of the economy. That's what I think they said. And that these fees should not, there was no necessity for collecting them. I said, isn't that what they said? They said, yes. I said, why didn't they just say that? I mean, you know. They said, well, they thought you might know finance. I said, no, I just knew fees out of the economy, $80 billion a year. That's a lot of money. Okay? So, and it was allowed us to begin to work that solution. So all I want to ask you to do as scientists, to help me, not as a policymaker, I'm George retired, but as on a committee that's going to be making a lot of decisions about the future of this state and its icon, the Central Puget Sound, the waters that have been here for thousands and thousands of years supporting humankind. That if we could have a story, it would be a beautiful one to express. a Puget Sound that we're in danger of losing. And really, it's going to be your ideas and your approaches and your science that will guide us out from where we are to where we have to be. In the back years of Dr. Ed Miles, he delivered really bad news to me. He told me that King County would not be exempt from global warming. He said there were going to be stunning repercussions on our climate change to species, all species, to our weather system. And I remember going out with his report, and I decided this would be a long pass, but I decided that we were going to move King County toward adaptation in an age of global warming. There was one thing I really understood. So I got up and announced that we were going to abolish every flood control district in King County, because we were going to have a snowpack go up another 1,000 feet. We would have rains that would, we still had precipitation, but it wouldn't freeze. So we're going to have torrential levels of rain in the wintertime. And I said, and that would overwhelm the 125 miles of levees that King County had. And everybody said, he's right, abolish them. I had no authority. None. We went to the voters and they passed it. We're building levees to 2050 standards. It's driving the Corps of Engineers nuts, but we're buying the 2050 standards because of his ability. And I want to thank you and your staff for making something that was complex and challenged and extraordinary very, very plain spoken for people like me to articulate to other people who are just like me. All I want to do is challenge you to do the same thing. So when you regather in your large numbers, after you've totally discussed the science, just tell us step 1, step 2, step 3. Provide a clear and concise roadmap. Peace and prosperity. And Congressman Victor, I know you have to go, but once again, sir, we're going to give you a standing ovation for all that you are.